Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Down to Earth Astronomy and Elite Dangerous and the 2.3 beta server. Today I finally got a chance to take a look at the Dolphin, the new passenger liner that has been implemented into the game. And before we start here, I just want to take a quick tour around the ship. Of course, we have these large side windows. Big tainted front screen here as well. Notice here that these panels on the side do not actually touch the rest of the ship, which is just a nice small detail. As we come around here on the other side, we can see that these orange panels, they do light up in the dark. Noticed also the small maneuvering thrusters here on the fins, just a nice small detail, I think. And then, of course, the very large tail, which does have maneuver surfaces or control surfaces, which might indicate that this ship is designed to actually go into an atmosphere. If this is something that Frontier is beginning to think about, that their ship should be aerodynamically stable, because they want to implement atmospheric flight in the future, I don't know. But it's just a nice small detail to note. But anyway, let's jump into the cockpit and let's have a look in here. Here we are in the cockpit. Fairly small, but the roof is very high, so it's very roomy. You can see here, the window is actually pretty big. Let's see if we can get a better view. Here we go. Very big front screen, and once you're in the commander seat, you actually have a pretty good field of view all around you. So for an exploration ship, this wouldn't be bad, at least if you're here for the scenery. But I think that's not enough about the actual outside of the ship. Let's move into the fittings loadout area and have a quick look at the ship here. Great, so here we are in the fitting area. Let's go ahead and have a look. So the ship has two small hardpoints, which is by default fitted with two small pulse lasers, I think, which is the normal default. And again, this is what you would expect. This is not a combat ship, so the two small hardpoints, well, they're not going to save you, but they're nice to have. You can fit turrets there if you just want to get in on a bounty in case you do get attacked and there are police in the system. For utility mounts, you have just 3 utility mounts, which again is it should be enough. You can fit maybe a heat sink in case you're afraid of overheating. You can fit a chaff to give you some defense, or maybe you can fit some point defense to ward off drones or missiles. So that's okay also in the utility compartment. Let's have a look at the core internals. So of course, lightweight alloys, as you would expect, only a class 4 power plant. And I should say, this is a small size ship. This is important to note. This will go on small landing pads. So it only has a class 4 power reactor, power plant. But again, because this is not a combat ship, I guess the ship is not designed to fit a very power hungry shield generator, nor with the low amount of weapon slots. You're not gonna have heavy weapons that takes a lot of power. So I guess that will be okay. A class 5 thruster and a class 5 frameshift drive. Now noticed here, if you look down at the bottom of the screen here, that this is completely stock. This is as you guess it when you buy it from stock. This actually has a 10 light year jump range without any modifications, no engineering, nothing. This is just when you buy it right off the station. And talking about buying, on the test server, this is 120,000 credits, and I think normally the test server the prices are a tenth of what they are on the live server, and I think the station also has a little bit of a discount. So I would expect this ship on the live server to be priced around 1.4 million credits. So, but again, I'm not completely sure about this, so don't take my word for it. It's just my guess that this is where it's going to be. So moving back to the core internals, we of course have a life support 4, class 4. 3 power distributor, so again not the largest, but I guess we'll have to do, and a class 3 sensor. So let's move on to the optional internals, and this is where it gets exciting. As you can see here, this has a lot of internal compartments. It has all the way up to class 5, which is actually pretty good, the ship taking into consideration. But remember, this is a passenger liner, so some of the slots here will be reserved for passenger modules, including the highest level here. In the highest level, you can only fit cargo racks, hull reinforcement modules, module reinforcements, or passenger cabins. So it is reserved for this specific type of module. The class 4, you can see here, you have full range of variations of modules you can fit. You can fit everything you want in at least the first class 4, and also in the second class 4. Then it has a single class 3 module, which also can fit any module you want. Then we have a total of 3 class 2 modules, and I think that they are all full range, so you can fit everything you want in those as well. So it's only the class 5 modules that are reserved for passenger cabins, and the rest you're of course free to do with as you see fit. So that's pretty much it for the internal compartments. I'm going to try and make some different fits, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if we can kit this out just for pure jump range. How far can we make it jump? So let's try and do that, and let's see what we can get out of this thing. Okay, so I stripped this thing down completely. I removed both of the hard points, and all of the optional internals are empty, of course, apart from our planetary approach module. And for the core internals, I've underspec'd many of the things. You can see here I only got a 2D power plant. I also underspec'd the thrusters, not too much, just still have enough thrust to actually move around properly. Of course, the biggest frameshift drive that we could, since we're fitting for jump range right now. 40 life support, underspec'd the power distributor as well. And the sensors also D-class, and that means that with a full tank you can jump just 32.5 light years, which is actually pretty good, this ship's size taking into consideration. Of course, this would just be a pure moving from A to B ship. But if you need something that you can use for just moving around the human bubble, this would actually not be a bad idea. If you engineer this, you could probably get this up very close to maybe up in the 50 light year range. So for using this as a cheap ship to get around quickly, wouldn't be a bad idea if you just underspec it. But anyway, let's try and A-rate it and see what happens then. So I have now completely A-rated everything. So I got the biggest, the best module that could possibly be on the ship. I still haven't fitted any alloys. We can see here plenty of power left to kit out the ship. And it didn't actually hurt our jump range too much. We're down to 27.5 light years. Of course, there are still no optional internal slots. So once we begin to fill in some modules, for instance, we want some passenger cabins, it is going to hurt our jump range. But again, that really depends on what you're using the ship for. But for a ship that's, when it's stripped without optional internal slots, but fully A-rated, to be able to jump 27 and for the price of the ship, that's actually pretty good, I think. So I'm going to try and make a fit on the ship as I would expect that you would be able to fit it if you were to actually use the ship for what it's intended for, so passenger missions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and let's then look at the stats of the ship afterwards. Okay, so I have now fitted the ship with what I would consider to be a at least decent setup for running passenger missions. Now, keep in mind that I haven't really been running that many passenger missions, so I'm not really sure if this is the optimal build, but just to give you guys an idea of what you could expect from this ship here. I still haven't fitted any hard points because I don't know. Normally, I don't fit hard points unless I'm planning to go into a fight. For utility, I've gone all out defense, a chaff, point defense, and a heat sink. just in case we get too close to a star, we're able to cool down the ship and prevent any incoming damage from overheating. Core internals, same as before, everything is A-rated. For the optional internals, I've gone for two cabins, two first-class cabins. Of course, you can fit any other type of cabin. They all have the same mass, so it doesn't affect your jump range. Which gives me a total cabin capacity of 6 first-class passengers. Then I fitted a 4A shield generator, just to give us a nice shield. A 3A fuel scoop. You could swap those two around if you want a weaker shield, but a better fuel scoop if you're going for long range. Then 2 cargo racks, just so you have some cargo to get the mission rewards in case they include materials. And an advanced discovery scanner, just both of you can get some exploration data while you are flying around, but also if you get to a system that is where you don't have the cartography data, you can just scan the system and easily get the cartography data of the system. As we can see here, jump range is still good, almost 22 light years, which is not too bad. So I think that all there is left to do now is to try and take this ship out for spin and see how it handles and how fast it can go. Okay, so we're just off the landing pad here, as you can see, and the maneuverability of this ship is actually pretty good. It accelerates fast, and it is a small ship, so I would expect that. I'm kind of throttling back a little right now. We can see here with all pips into the engines with the landing gear down, we can actually go at 145. So if we take off the landing gear, that should double. And this is without, we're not boosting right now. We're almost at 300 right now. And, I mean, this is pretty maneuverable, as you can see here. If we take it out into the maneuverable range, you can actually turn this ship pretty fast. And I'm wondering if you can actually make him, make the blood rush to his head. It's not quite fast enough for that. But I see what it will do in a straight line when we boost. Just gonna find the station so we can have something to reference by. You can see here pretty good speed without boosting. Let's try to put a boost on. And we're boosting up to almost, I think just over 380. Which is pretty fast. And just notice here, now on the next boost here when we come back over the station, try to listen to the engines. They actually sound a bit like a Dolphin, I think. I think that's a nice little added touch there. So very maneuverable. I'm actually quite impressed with this ship. And with the good jump range, I could see this being a very popular ship. Let's try and get a docking permission again. Here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Very nimble and whoops, very easy to maneuver. Very responsive. It feels as a little heavier than an Eagle, but I wouldn't say it's too much heavier. I mean, I was actually expecting this to be a lot more heavy to maneuver because it is essentially just a minivan. But it is very maneuverable, and I could see that I could be happy to have a ship like this kitted out for long range passenger missions, or just to have something to move around the bubble, because with the decent jump range you get on this ship, that would actually be pretty good for a job like that. And and maybe you could kit this out for exploration as well, because the jump range again is good, and it has the internal slots that you need. So again, this is the Dolphin. I hope you liked this quick overview of the ship. If you did, give this video a like down below, and consider subscribing to the channel for more Elite Dangerous and other space related content. And also next time, I will see you guys in space.